Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Town Hall for tonight's Cabinet meeting. There aren't many people in the gallery tonight, so I think we'll just move on with this and not welcome too many people. Can you authorise me, please, to sign the minutes of the meeting held on the 29th of July 2024 as a correct procedure? Thank you. Excellent. I'll pass that along. Thank you very much. Apologies for absence, Lisa.
There are none, Chair.
Thank you very much. And are there any additional agenda items?
There are none, Chair.
There are none, sorry, okay. Urgent decisions?
None, Chair.
Disclosure of interest and dispensations, to receive any disclosures by members or disclosable pecuniary interests and other registrable interests, non-registrable interests in matters on the agenda and the nature of any interest details of any dispensations obtained. Members are reminded of the need to repeat their declaration immediately prior to the commencement of the item in question. Okay, so we've got one or two colleagues joining us online. Can we move into the first item? That's agenda item 6. This is the council plan consultation exercise. This is to approve the draft council plan for consultation purposes in the programme of consultation. Did you want to introduce this, please, Lorna? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, this is the draft council plan, which we're asking Cabinet to approve for consultation. The draft plan itself is set out at Appendix A and the consultation plan at Appendix B. We're proposing a 6-week consultation, and I think that's appropriate because there has been a lot of engagement both internally and externally on the plan, not necessarily on the council plan, but on the climate strategy and also the local plan. And both of those documents have really informed the strategic objectives and the actions that are coming forward. So really there's not too much to say on the plan itself. I think members will be familiar with the sort of two main themes of Live Well Locally and Green to the Core. Green to the Core does have a very strong alignment to the climate strategy, and the Live Well Locally theme takes forward a lot of the aspirations of the local plan. The Thriving Local Economy theme has been aligned to the county strategy that we've been heavily involved on. In fact, we've been discussing today. So there's a very good connection there too. So those are the three kind of main themes of the plan. We have also developed a long-term vision, which, as I say, has very close alignment to what we're trying to achieve with the local plan. So what this is trying to do is trying to say, in addition to that spatial planning point of view, what else can the council do to achieve those aspirations? Underpinning all of that is our Fit for the Future programme, which members will have heard about over the last year or so. And it really is an opportunity to also bring together our target operating model and values, which were adopted through our people strategy recently. So this document really brings all of that activity together. So both internally, what the council is doing to transform, and externally, what our strategic priorities are. What it doesn't do at this stage is set out a detailed action plan, and that will follow. I think it's important to make sure we haven't got any gaps in the strategy, important to reflect some of the aspirations of some of our partners. So that is really the purpose of the consultation. I don't think it will dramatically change the direction of travel on this plan because it very much takes forward our current council plan. And we have quite a big programme of projects that fit underneath these aspirations. But what it will do is give our partners an opportunity to tell us about anything that they are trying to achieve that we may be able to reflect back in our plan, and also if there are any gaps. So I commend this plan to you for consultation, and the plan is then to report back in December time with the outcome and go on to full council to adopt the council plan. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Lorna. Are there any questions or points raised? I know an awful lot of work's gone on into this. I know that there's been a lot of contribution from members, certainly adopting the path forward, which is the Alliance documentation of what we want to achieve, and we've been able to mirror that and fix that together or fit it into that, what I think is very, very important. So that's where we are, and I think that we really now, it will be going to scrutiny, I believe, for colleagues there to look at this next week, I believe. And then the important thing is that it gives an opportunity to go out to residents, stakeholders, for them to comment and come back to us, and that once we've worked on this draft, we will have something there which I think we will be very, very proud of putting out there. So are there any other points that anyone would like to make? Ash?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's really good. And the only suggestion was in the actual document, we've highlighted some of the key projects, the six major projects. I wondered if there was any supporting information that we could have as a link. So I just feel like straight away I wanted to click into that and find out more. And I wondered whether, presumably we've got that material already, whether it would be useful to link it so that people can get further context on those. Thank you.
I think that's a very good point. Yes, we do highlight 6 projects in the introduction to the plan. I think we may also reference them a bit later, but we can either do a hyperlink to that or do something to the website that explains the projects a little bit more. I think that's a really fair point. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Ash. Anybody else, Christine?
Yes, thank you. And I think this is a really good document, and as you say, it picks up all the main aspects of the Rother Alliance. It's really important for businesses to get involved and feedback on this. A thriving local economy is a key element of the plan, and I'm very happy to do presentations or introduce this to any local groups, chambers of commerce locally that would want to get involved and feedback.
Yeah, I think it's a document that we'd be very, very proud to be owning it and moving it forward. Sam? Sorry, Sam. Teresa. Sam?
It's a very thorough document. Only to say that I'll be bringing this up with the Rother Equalities External Committee, which I think we meet on the 12th of September, because obviously if it caters for those with the highest need in our communities, then that should filter through, and so I'll make sure that all of them sort of consult as well.
Thank you for that, Sam. That's a good point. Teresa?
I was just going to add that I've got a meeting with the Sussex Health and Wellbeing Board this week, and they're doing a deep dive session about their delivery plan, and it's quite interesting and reassuring that everything you see in our plan is the way forward with them as well. It's mirrored. So it's mirrored with health and wellbeing, but also mirrored with our, as we know, local plan. So, yes, good bit of joining up.
Thank you. I would like to acknowledge the work that was put in by Anna Evitt and Alice Nolan. I think they were the 2 scribes on all of this who were fetching in information and making it all bolt together and taking some feedback and making it to what we have here. So I'd like to feel that the draft plan be approved for consultation purposes and the timetable for public consultation as set out in Appendix B be agreed. Does someone like to second that? If I'm happy to propose that, if I'm able to do that, and Teresa has seconded that, so I think those in favour of that to move forward, and thank you very much, and that's unanimous. Right. So, on to agenda item 7, that's the lease of the community hub and the land at Sidley Recreation Ground, which is gaining progress by the minute in Sidley, I believe, at the moment in time. It's a very exciting prospect going forward. So this report of Deborah Keneally, Neighbourhood Services Manager, to seek approval to lease the new community hub and associated car park to the Heart of Sidley Community Association and to licence a football pitch to the same association.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you've all read the report, because this is the culmination of a lot of work by a lot of people. And of course, it all started with the Levelling Up Fund and the portion that the Heart of Sidley were awarded, which is fantastic. So that's what this is all about. But there are practicalities where we have to lease the hub and we have to lease the land to them. And that's what this is about, giving Deborah the authority to do that. But in our wish to encourage sports clubs and relevant organisations to take on the maintenance of the sports pitches and associated buildings across the district, this seeks the approval for that, for the community hub and the car park, as well as the licence for the adjacent football pitch. And I remember in some conversations I had, there was a little bit of confusion about that. So that's a rolling licence for when I would imagine maybe the football club would like to take it over. But this is a 30-year lease, and it's going to support the existing functions of the recreation ground, but it's going to provide new sports, art, culture, and learning opportunities for the community. It will offer flexible spaces for meetings and workshops, and as well as a cafe, changing rooms, and use of toilet when the pavilion is open. Now, that's actually quite key, because we don't want people thinking that the community building is just for the people who are going to use it. If the public are there and it's open, then you may use the toilets. Now, the Heart of Siddeley have worked tirelessly to get this done over the past decade to serve businesses and residents in Siddeley, which is a very deprived ward, which I'm sure Sam will tell us about shortly. So it's a fitting legacy that builds on all their achievement that they've done previously, and it really fits into what we've just talked about, living well locally and our health and well-being strategy. So it has my full support, and I would like it to be hopefully approved. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that obviously I'm delighted with this whole project. Heart of Siddeley, the Dello, all of the other officers that were involved in the Levelling Up project, Deborah, everyone from the start to where we are now has done amazing work on this, and it is really sort of a glowing example of what we can achieve as a sort of local government in terms of helping the communities and aiding them to find that money and build these resources. I mean, Siddeley is, I would say, undoubtedly the sort of centre for sports and recreation in Rother. You know, we've got the cricket club, we've got our race cars, we've got our skate park, we've got the BMX track, bowls, cricket, everything is there. You know, it is an amazing place to be for free and accessible sports and recreation. And I think this is just that final jigsaw piece in that sort of parcel. I think when the skate park was built, a lot of people said, this is brilliant. I wish we could do something about that sort of changing block at the end of the recreation ground over there, because it was just this little shack that was boarded up and not often used. And those who have used it, it's not the best. And so this is an absolute sort of transformation of that, as Hazel said, bringing culture and sports and all sorts of things. And the only thing I will say is that whilst this Levelling Up funding that we've had covers the actual building itself, Heart of Siddeley is still raising money at the moment to furnish it out and make sure it's got all of the equipment and things it needs. And they are running a crowdfunder, and they're nearly at the threshold where East Sussex County Council start match funding them pound for pound with donations. So if any councillors or members of the public are watching this, I would very much encourage them to find that crowdfunder and donate to it, because this is an incredible project. And Siddeley is a community behind it. And, you know, this is just the final bit of getting the lease sorted is the final little bit of paperwork that we've got to do as a council to make sure this project goes ahead. So I second this.
Thank you, Sam. I see there's a hand up. There's a hand up here in the room at the moment. Paul, Christine.
Yes, thank you. And I have sort of mentioned this before. I mean, I absolutely 100% support this lease, but members of the Cabinet will remember that I've been involved with the skate park and the BMX track conversion, and one of the issues that's always blighted the skate park and the BMX track is lack of toilet facilities. It's especially a big equalities issue because girls, you know, find it very difficult to go behind a bush, which is what a lot of boys, unfortunately, have to do at the moment. So I would really like to see written into the lease that those toilet facilities are open to the public and that there isn't going to be any any bar or whatever. I realise that if it's closed of an evening and the skate park's open, as I say, it's open till about 9 o'clock at night, you know, that's how it is. But when the hub is open, it's really important that it's available to skateboarders and BMX bikers.
Hazel, you look as though you want to say something.
Yeah. I did actually say that it's available. It really made that point because there'd been some confusion about it. So, yeah, it's for everybody.
Hi, Paul.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a silly question. I think we're a bit out of sync at the moment, but anyway, I'm assuming if we've got this built with levelling up money, will the facility when it's built, will that be a Rother facility or a Heart of Sydney facility? And if so, is the lease that we're offering of 30 years long enough, or is that just a lease for the building, or is that for the time of the Heart of Sydney going to use it, or what? Or would a longer lease be better, if you got that?
I'll invite Deborah to respond to that.
Thank you, Chair. The pavilion is built on Rother District Council land. It will belong to Rother District Council. It will be a council asset. There are discussions over how long a lease can be before it becomes a little bit more than a lease, but on legal recommendation, 30 years as an initial lease is an acceptable term. What happens thereafter, like all our leases, can be reviewed and renewed. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Are there any other questions? No. Sam is Hazel's moved this, and Sam is second this. I know a lot of work's going. I think Rebecca has been involved. Oh, sorry, am I over? Yes.
No, that's all right. I just wanted to clarify about the use of the toilets. When the pavilion is open, the toilets will be open to the public, which includes the skate park and anybody using the skate park and the BMX track. So it's open to the public is the important thing, I think. And also, yes, Councillor, I was going to say that it is Rebecca's hours and hours of work that's really done this. It's not mine. It's all down to her, really. And, of course, the project team who are seeing this through. So thank you.
Yes, not at all. I think Rebecca has demonstrated with the skateboard park, the BMX and this project, her passion to bring these things forward, and she does cover off an awful lot of attention to detail, which I think is very, very important. I'm sure that... sorry? Yes, indeed so, yes. They're not going to rename it the Rebecca Owen Centre or anything like that. You know, there was something there. So, yeah, we've had it moved, we've had it second, and we just need to vote on the approval of this. Okay, Mary?
Just a very quick question. Sorry, we chimed in rather late this evening. What about the ongoing maintenance cost? And is that included in the final amount? Will there have to be any yearly fundraising? And if so, who will do it?
Again, I'll invite Deborah to come back on that, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Yes, the report sets out that the HOSCA, the Heart of Sidley Community Association, as it will become, will be doing fundraising events, holding events, charging fees where relevant and appropriate. There will be a cafe in the pavilion which will earn an income. So it is very important that it is self-sustaining, Councillor, and that it does support itself. Yeah, so it will fund itself. Thank you.
Can I just come back on that then, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah, it was just a very quick response, and that is that Etchingham has a village hall which is going to need this kind of fundraising for the next 100 years or so. We found in the early days there was tremendous enthusiasm because it's a brand new project and everyone's very excited about it. The trustees are having a little bit of a problem at the moment because they cannot persuade more people to join as trustees, and they are definitely having problems in raising money to keep the thing going. I would just say it's okay for about the first 10 years, watch it after that because it gets more difficult. So work on that right from the beginning.
I think Heart of Siddeley have demonstrated their workmanlike efforts in everything that they've done. And in fact, it's an interesting comment I said to one or two of the board members of the Heart of Siddeley. I said, you know, what you've done is absolutely a tremendous achievement. I said, are there any areas there that you feel that could be learned? He said, yes, don't get involved with councillors. So I thought that was a very, which I thought was brilliant, because they got on with it and there was an over-involvement, but at the end of the day, I think that they've demonstrated what they're able to achieve. But thank you for those comments, Mary. Sam, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, I was only just going to say pretty much what you did, Doug, which is that, you know, Heart of Siddeley, I think they're really happy to take this on. The reason there's a cafe involved in the project, as Deborah sort of said, is partly in order to try and raise money. But as an organisation, I mean, they're members of the community. They're really keen. They've got a lot of community buy-in and support because they do a lot for the Siddeley community. And I have no sort of worries that they're going to fold at any point soon or anything like that. So I think if they're happy, I'm happy, and that's the way it should be.
Okay, so I think we've had that moved. We've had it second. We can vote on the recommendations as per the report. That's recommendation 1, 2 and 3. Those in favour, and that's unanimous. And thank you very much indeed, Deborah. Are you going to slide off? Okay, thank you. Are we on item 8? Community grants. I seem to have lost that somewhere. Okay, yep, here we are, agenda item 8. This is the Community Grant Scheme, round 1. This is the report, the Corporate Policy and Projects Manager report, and I believe that you're going to present this, Teresa, are you, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Two parts to this. The community, well, you can see from the paperwork, the community grants detailed in Appendix A. So there is a request to approve the grant that has been proposed. It is a grant that has been supported by RVA all the way through. The cost to renovate has also got project support. They've got funding from Rother Food Partnership, and if there is a shortfall at all, RVA have said that they will fund that as well. So we know that the funding is truly covered for that activity. Probably the main point I'd like to make is that we have 3 grant pots here. We've got a small community grant pot, which is up to £1,000 per application, and we have managed to award Rye Bay Football Club some money from that one. We've also got Rother, which is quite a good iterative title, Rother Reduce, Reuse, Recycle Grant, which is up to £1,000, which again is open all year. We've got medium and large community grants as well. So we've got 3 pots here. And I think the slight frustration is that we are not getting many applicants. So particularly for the large one, which obviously we are saying Appendix A is one of them, but it still leaves us with a significant amount of money, 114,000 more, for the second round. So my plea would be that as ward members, we actually try and encourage requests for these grants, because we have the money here and we want to make sure that we can utilise it within our communities. It's very good news for Rother, and I think we need to be making sure that we can use this money properly for our communities. So if I could propose that we actually take both of these parts through, thank you.
I think it is important that we all look to promote this, and I'm sure officers are promoting it in wherever way we're able to do to get it out there. Because it's sort of sad, really. We've got money to distribute and people can't take advantage of it. Rory.
Thank you, Chair. Totally support the proposals, totally support the concept. and the good things that are done through a system of community grants. But I wonder, has any work or analysis been done as to why we're not getting groups coming forward to apply for the grants? I mean, I was just reflecting when I worked for the voluntary sector myself. It was the stipulation, I think it's 0.8, that match funding had to be found, which was very difficult for community groups during the, the straitened times that we live in and the years of austerity. It actually, with my colleagues in the voluntary sector, it put a lot of organisations off having to have 50% match funding in some cases. And that was a real barrier, a real impediment to releasing these funds. And I just wonder, had any thought been given to that issue about either the match funding being relaxed somewhat, and again, publicity as always is the issue, isn't it? Thank you, Chair.
Good point, and I suppose RVA are very much involved in this whole process of making sure where funds are available and perhaps pointing people in every direction that there is at the moment. Sam?
Yeah, I'd second what Rory said, and also I've had a few organisations, when I've mentioned our community grants to them, say, oh, the Rother community grants process is too complicated and it's easier to apply for funding elsewhere. And I think also perhaps the limits on how much people can apply for, especially as prices are higher now than they were before and things cost more, perhaps that might be a barrier, because I know there are some organisations that need more money than we can give and often get turned away from our grants because they're asking for too much. But if we've got money to sloshing around in this pot, it's important that it actually gets used to help the community. So,
okay, could we in the what we are actually voting on tonight, perhaps we could put something in there that we really want to sort of review this in some way. Is it a more? Can it be? If it's £1,000 and you're expected to jump through 20 hoops to get there, a simplified procedure would perhaps be something that Nicola. I'm not sure if it's still Nicola's bag, is it? So that could be looked at and come forward. So I think that's a good point made there. I think, yeah. Okay, it's been, Hazel, have you moved this? I don't know who's moving this. No, Teresa is, and I think Catherine was second. Yeah, okay. Those in favour? I think we're unanimous on that. It's all good news. The pity there's not more going out, I suppose, get rid of money. Right, so we move on to agenda item 9, Climate Change Steering Group Change of Membership. Right, to approve a change in membership for the Labour group, because Sam needs to be replaced by Councillor McCurk as the Labour group representative, and I believe we've got 2 other nominations for the vacancies. There's Councillor Cook and Councillor Burton. Yeah, Catherine.
Yes, thank you. I have to say, quite appalled to see this report originally, because it seems like a very heavy-handed and a very resource-heavy way of going about appointing people to what is actually an informal group. So I'm delighted to see the recommendation that it won't be happening in the future. I would also say, I chair this group, and I struggle to realise who is on the committee and who isn't, simply because all comers are welcome, all comers contribute, and in the 5 years you've never had to vote. So yes, thoroughly support this, and I hope everybody else will as well.
Sam?
Yeah, this is one of those things where the simplest of things you think is going to be really quick, which was just that me and Councillor McGurk wanted to swap on the committee, becomes this sort of arduous report-driven process. But I'm glad that we've discovered this unnecessary sort of red tape or whatever, and we've ripped it up now so that it's easier to swap members. Good.
Every red tape ripping up department that can deal with this, because we need to do something. But thanks for bringing all this forward. So we are where we are. We need to approve a change of membership for the Labour group, so that's fine. And can we incorporate in this the 2 nominations that have come forward this evening, Lorna? Yes? Yeah, yes. So that's Councillor Cook and Councillor Burton. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so you've moved this report.
I'll move it and propose it, yeah.
I think someone was going to second that. Teresa, that's fine. And we can vote on that based on the deal. Excellent. And I think we are there for this evening. Thank you, Lisa. We will close the meeting at whatever time it is. 6:59. Yeah.